Welcome to Matinee Heroes CastOFF season finale. We finally made it, 8 episodes. Thanks to everyone who has participated, all the winners, all the non-winners. I don't want to call them losers because they came on the show, but, you know, let's call a spade a spade. You guys lost, and suck it up. Maybe next year. All right, welcome to the show. Super excited to have some great guests. This is CastOFF. This is a show where we have 2 contestants duke it out by recasting your favorite actors in beloved movies. And this week we've got 2 great folks. If you've listened to the podcast, you know one of them, and if you've watched the show, you know the other. We have Patrick Beatty and Cary Gordon. Patrick, Cary, how are you guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Introduce each other. Patrick has been on the show before. He was on and lost, I would say right now, famously, where you were tied at the last person and you committed to a joke you made earlier in the show and it didn't pay off.
I mean, yeah, it was a joke. Totally.
Yeah, it was.
But the point is, though, I am alpha and omega for this season. I started this season, and I'm going to finish this season.
That's right. And Cary, longtime Disney-ophile for Matinee Heroes. Whenever you come on, it's all Disney all the time, which is why we're doing Alien, because it's now owned by Fox, is now owned by Disney. Yep. Now, is Ripley a Disney princess, or is the Queen?
You can make an argument for both, actually, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, well,
I would accept either.
Yeah, I would accept. I think the Queen is royalty.
The Queen is a queen.
So let's meet our guests real quick. Patrick, PatrickBeattyReviews.com. How are things been going over there?
Oh man, things are going good. We've been chugging along with Gaggle of Geeks, the live show on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Also a podcast, so we were kind of everywhere with that. We're just getting more and more guests, and we would love to have you on once you have the season wrapped up. Other than that, just surviving through the quarantine.
I'm available at all times, at all hours. So I have no life. This is it. And because Cary knows this, I have no life, which is why whenever Comicpalooza calls upon me to do anything, what do I say?
Of course, yes.
Enthusiastically, yes. Or even when you don't, I say, why didn't you ask me? So I put the guilt on as well. How are things going over at Metal Geeks?
It's going really well. Just like Patrick, surviving the quarantine, been working, putting out podcasts. This is going to be my 15-year anniversary of actually starting a podcast. So I'm an old-timer now. You are
a very old-timer, but you know what? Oldie, but a goodie. You're still putting out good stuff. So as long as you keep putting out good quality content, who cares how long you've been doing it? But you can also can rub it in the faces of all the people who started one in quarantine.
That's right. Well, come to us for experience now.
Well, let's get to the rules. And the rules are fairly simple. I'm going to name a character and the actor that played it in the movie. And you are going to give me an actor as well. The best choice, which is selected by me, gets a point. Full disclosure, you guys did submit your answers to me in advance, only for production reasons. I wanted to make sure that people would be able to see who you chose. You do not know who each other has picked or who the winner is. Also, I have also had a secret selection. I have recast this entire movie, and if you happen to pick one of my choices, you get a bonus point. Now, the fact that you pick one of mine does not automatically make you the best choice, but odds are you probably will. It has happened in the past where someone has picked my secret selection, but someone had a better pick. Hard to believe, but true. Someone had a better pick than myself, and so those numbers were split. So an automatic Craig pick does not mean automatic best choice. Person with the most points wins. That's pretty simple. And if for some reason there is a tie, there is a double feature at the end to win, just like on the podcast. You would have to come up with on the fly double feature for Alien, and I will not accept any of the sequels. So that'll make it much harder for you guys. But before we begin, as always, the show is sponsored by Matinee Heroes, the podcast that started it all. And this week we're doing our Patreon episode where our good friend and good patron, Brian Hunt, has donated and wanted to do Say Anything. So we've got past winner Rob Irvin to come on the show, and we're going to talk about for about an hour and a half. It's a long episode of Say Anything. So you can go to matineeheroes.com, go over there, subscribe to the podcast, and just a quick reminder, if you have not subscribed to this video feed, which yes, it is the season finale, but we have a wonderful announcement at the end of this about upcoming episodes and season 2. You can head over there to matineeheroes.com/castoff. The movie is Alien, 1979. The cast is impeccable. Hard to recast, but this movie about space truckers fighting aliens is one of our all-time favorites. So are you guys ready?
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, Patrick, we are going to start with you. And off the bat, we're going to start with Tom Skerritt gets head billing in this as Dallas. Everybody's only got one name in this movie. Who do you have as the captain of the Nostromo?
For Dallas, my choice was Matthew Rhys. If you've seen him from The Americans, also from the recent Tom Hanks "Won't You Be My Neighbor" film. I think that's A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Yes, it is.
I think he is one of the more unknown actors that really packs a punch. He's very, very good at most of his dramatic roles, and I think he fits really well in this position, specifically alongside my pick for Ripley and his interactions as a team member. I think he would be perfect for this.
Absolutely. He's a good, as far as the captain is concerned, he's a good person to have yell at people and be angry. He's good at angry and frustrated.
And a lot of people have suggested him to be like Mr. Fantastic. So thinking of him as like a captain of something just came a little bit inherently with thinking of this character. So Matthew Rhys, my choice.
Mr. Fantastic. I'm sorry. We're going to give that to John Krasinski so Emily Blunt can be
Me too. That's my
Susan
pick
Storm. Too. Cary.
Yes, sir.
Who do you have playing the captain, Dallas?
I show somebody out of the ordinary. We're not people that would maybe think of, but I went with Taron Egerton because he has a lot of swag. Put a full beard on him. He is going to be, Elton John portrayed him really, really well.
Well, no, he portrayed Elton John really, really well.
Captain.
That would be awesome if Elton John did Taron Egerton. That would be funny.
I would like to see that. But yeah, his role in The Kingsman just made him my choice. He has so much swag and so much. He's just such a great. I think he'd be a great captain.
Well, I will say that he is definitely growing on me. I mean, the Kingsman is built for 20-year-old, 20-something guy to go in and kick butt in.
Mm-hmm.
But with seeing him in Rocket Man, I realized that this kid is not to be taken lightly. He's got the goods, and he's probably going to be around for a long, long time. So,
yeah, and I was trying to not pick somebody that would be just the obvious choice. You know what I mean?
Well, sure. And that can go with you or against you on this show
right.
sometimes, because sometimes the most obvious choice is perfect, and sometimes the most obvious choice is not. Here we have Matthew Rhys for Patrick, Taron Egerton for Cary. Now, my pick, I was looking for a Thomas Jane type guy, because these are space truckers, right?
Nice.
And so I'm going to have to say that Taron Egerton is too much of a pretty boy for this, and that's why I went with Matthew Rhys, because I don't see Taron Egerton being that. He might. He's still young. Maybe in 15 years he'd be perfect for this, but since I don't know what that looks like, you never know. He might go into a coke-fueled spiral in about 6 years and be useless. But I
think that was a really good choice,
not.
though, Chris.
But Taron Egerton is a good-looking guy. But I think Matthew Rhys again can play that frazzled captain who's in charge, but also losing his brains a little bit. Well, let's move on to the real star of this whole show, and that is the magnificent Sigourney Weaver, who, I'll plug Comic Palooza right now, was there for Comic Palooza in, 2017?
I believe it was 15.
50? Was it that long ago? Bill Paxton. Yes, Bill Paxton was there.
Yes, we had most of the cast from Aliens were there.
Yes, Paul Reiser was there. Oh, it was great. I really hate Dave Morales for being the host of that one because I had lots of questions. But she's fantastic, looks fantastic at 20, looks fantastic at 70. She's amazing. Gonna be hard. So that's why we were going to start with you, Cary. Who do you have playing the titular, well, not the titular, the starring actor? Because she's not the alien. Well, she could be. She could be the alien of that planet.
Right. I went with somebody who's played a superhero recently, and she's had some dramatic roles under her belt too, but she can also do some comedy. I know a lot of people might not be a fan of this actress, but I am, and I've chosen Brie Larson.
Absolutely. Brie Larson, winner, chicken dinner. You have picked the same as me, man. I had her down pat. She is awesome. Yeah, she's known for causing fanboy meltdowns, but they deserve it.
Right.
She's amazing in The Room. She's amazing as Captain Marvel. She even does when she's doing small little roles like in Trainwreck. She's fantastic. I think she's perfect for this.
She was great in Community. We just watched that recently, and I forgot how great she was on that show.
Yeah, she's really, and she was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World too.
That's right.
So she's really been good for a long time. I just glad to see her come into her own now. It's just like I said, it's causing the fanboys to melt, but we don't care.
I just saw her in that Just Mercy movie, and if you put
so good.
Yes, if you put the same hairdo on her, she'd be a perfect Ripley.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was trying to find the picture of her wearing her hat in Captain Marvel because I'm trying to find Space Trucker. And, I couldn't find that one, so I went with this one.
Oh, but in Just Mercy, dude, she's got a full perm. Like, it is full Ripley.
Okay.
Totally.
And she's brunette. Like, it actually works pretty well. What am I talking about? I haven't even given you my choice.
Doesn't matter. So, before we even get to that, just so you know, Cary, you've already got a point just for picking the same as me.
Okay.
So we have a tie game as we speak, but you're going to have to overwhelm me with your pick. Who did you decide on to be Ripley?
When was that a rule that they get an additional point? All right.
It's always been a rule.
That's how we're going to play.
It's the bonus point.
Changing the colors. We're going red.
I did explain this earlier.
That's ominous.
All right. So my pick. I didn't go with the conventional pick, I guess, but I went for who inherently fits the character of Ripley. To me, it's Tessa Thompson.
Awesome.
Mainly because of her role in not only Thor Ragnarok, but you can look at Creed. I think with Ripley, you need somebody that's soft but also tough. That's somebody that can inherently be nurturing and also be somebody that you could see like put up a fight against a huge alien monster while still be able to rock underwear running around, you know? And so for me, Tessa Thompson was an obvious pick, and I love her and all the stuff she does. Maybe not Men in Black International, but...
Well, she was fighting aliens in that one. That's why I put that there.
Man, that is a close comparison.
She is awesome. This was super close. So automatically, Cary, because you picked the same as me, you get a point, so we're tied. Tessa Thompson, this is, of all of this today, this is going to be the closest one. And but I have to go with Brie Larson because I thought she was perfect. I continue to think she's perfect. But if she got sick and Tessa Thompson stepped in, it would be just as phenomenal. I would pay just as much, if not maybe even more sometimes, to see Tessa Thompson kick some butt. But
she's the understudy then.
Yes. Oh, it was fantastic. Good job, guys. That was the closest one of the night.
Put her in as a stunt double. There'll be no difference.
Yeah, well, let's get to is the hysterical Lambert, played by Veronica Cartwright. And this one's going to be a tough one because this person has to be basically hysterical through the whole movie. So we need someone who can be panicked and crying constantly. Patrick, your turn. Who have you decided that is going to be Lambert?
When you say panic and crying, there's no other person that you can turn to, maybe not in a comedic sense, but to Elizabeth Moss, who was recently in The Invisible Man, did a film called Shirley that was incredible. I highly recommend that. And of course, The Handmaid's Tale. She has been in a lot of films where she has to break down and cry a lot. Now, the comedic chops, I think, is hidden with her performances. She actually was pretty funny in her small part in Us. And I think she has the ability to really bust out of that and be a great ensemble character with the group.
Oh, I think she's a perfect pick because, again, she's known for emotional trauma. She can do that hysterical crying and be believable. And that's pretty much what Lambert does in here, unfortunately, because we've got one tough lady and then we got one hysterical lady, just like we have one guy who's running the show and then we have all the other guys acting like idiots. So
you got to look at reaction shots, too. Like, you want to look at the person terrified of the alien, and if they don't look terrified.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So great pick. Cary, who do you have as Lambert?
I chose somebody that's more of a TV comedian. She hasn't done a lot of movies, but she's done a few here and there. I chose Natalie Morales.
Now, this was an odd pick because I do like her a lot. She is really good. Awesome. She's not Natalie Morales from the Today Show, so don't get those two confused.
That is correct. Not that one.
But they're both very perky and happy people, so it can be easily to confuse them. She's got some... She's got some drama in her from Wall Street and White Collar, but my wife knows her from Abby's.
Yes, that was a great show too. I just recently saw her on Parks and Rec, where she was Tom Haverford's girlfriend for a while, and just her smile and just her natural she's so likable as a character actress and a comedian. I think she'd be perfect in the role.
Well, so we have Elizabeth Moss for Patrick. We've got Natalie Morales. You may not like this one, Patrick, because I had Edie Falco, and when you sent me your list, you had Elizabeth
I
Moss.
didn't know what that was. You just had that pasted in with it.
Oh, maybe I was accidentally gave you that. So
was that in yours too, Cary? Okay,
yes, it
wasn't just me.
Oh,
Cool.
then that was my
you about
fault.
to get me with something? How dare you?
I gave you guys a freebie. You could have got an extra point for that just because I screwed up when I sent that along. But I did go with Elizabeth Moss because of the two, I know for a fact, slam dunk, Elizabeth Moss can get hysterical and believable without being, I guess, too campy or too out of control. I want to see Natalie Morales do that, but I haven't seen her do that. So I got big money going on this. I can't give acting lessons to Natalie Morales.
You gotta give her a chance, man.
Yeah, I got to give her a chance, but not for a $100 million movie. I gotta make sure maybe for one of the smaller outtakes.
Right.
Well, let's move on to legendary Harry Dean Stanton as Brett. Now, this is, if you want to say who was supposed to be on this ship, Brett is the main guy who is the stereotypical trucker. He should be a template for all the other people, and Harry Dean Stanton plays him to perfection. And so, with Harry Dean Stanton, we've got Cary. You go first. Who's going to replace the everyman, Harry Dean Stanton?
The everyman, the funny man, the guy who can pull off a Hawaiian shirt. I think Bill Hader.
He can pull off a Hawaiian shirt. What is he? One of the Boogaloo Boys?
That's right.
Okay, he's great. I love all his impressions. He does a great Vincent Price. But you see him be somewhat serious in Barry and It Chapter 2, and I thought he was the best part of Trainwreck.
Yes.
So why Bill Hader? Because I mean, yeah, he can pull off a Hawaiian shirt, but that's not necessarily the main thing you got to get.
Well, I think number one, he's hilarious, and number two, you just said he can pull off these dramatic roles, but keep a little bit of, comedy chops as well. I think I'm a big fan of his, and I really enjoy anything he's in, and I think he would make this new version of Alien even better. And
I agree because I'm a big Bill Hader fan as well. Patrick.
Man, that was a good pick too. I went with another comedian actually, with Kumail Nanjiani, because I think that like you said, he needs to be somebody that looks like he's just been around this huge mining vessel for a very long time. But I figure with that, it also comes with needing the tech expertise along with the muscle. Had he not just sprouted into the big pound of beef that he is this year, I might not have picked him. But with his experience with Silicon Valley, with now wherever he's going in the Marvel universe, and with his comedic chops, also his ability to react, he's one of those actors that is just sprouting out more and more. And I love every performance he's been in. I think he'd work well with this.
And when he does the interviews on the talk shows, he's going to kill it, because I listen to a lot of podcasts that he's on, and he's
the Quarantine at Home one. Are you watching?
No, I have been with him and Emily Gordon. Yes, but
that's a good one.
I'm no relation to Cary.
No relation, not at all.
Are you sure? Have you asked? Because Emily's got some Oscar money now.
I know. Maybe I should find out.
She could be a cousin.
Hey.
But I'm a big fan of both of these guys, and it's interesting that you guys both went with comedians, because we got Bill Hader and Kumail Nanjiani. I was looking for a Sam Rockwell type, kind of but of the two of these, I do feel, Patrick, that you had the Kumail Nanjiani, especially now that he's buff. He looks a little weird with his jaw because he's got muscle now, but
his jaw has a muscle that just flexes out.
So with that, Patrick takes the lead with 3-2, and we move on to the irreplaceable, the legendary Sir John Hurt, who now I know nerds right now are going, that's not Alien. No, that's Spaceballs. This is pictures from Spaceballs.
Yes.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
But this is the best picture.
I did not see that in Alien. I was waiting for it. It didn't happen in this version. That's all.
I know.
Yeah, it's like, what a gyp. Someone should edit that in and not tell someone. Give them a copy.
he's fantastic in this. So that's why I wanted to make sure. So we have him as Kane. And Patrick, you are our first choice. Who do you go with to replace John Hurt?
Well, I was thinking specifically of that scene, not in Spaceballs, unfortunately, but in Alien, where the thing shoots out of his stomach. You really need to get somebody that can react big, but also someone that you don't expect to have this happen to. So who else would you not expect to happen to than Ryan Gosling, the most pretty man on the planet, who's a top billed actor, who there's no effing way they're going to kill this guy halfway through the film. There's no way. But when you see it, and he's got the caliber of acting to where he can really give a show for this alien coming out of him, you could do the same thing like what they did with not telling any of the cast, and the reaction would be the exact same as what happened with the film itself. That's my pick.
He was really great in The Nice Guys too. He was really funny. So
yeah, no, that's why I put that in there, because I know Alan, my co-host of Matinee Heroes, would kill me if I did not mention The Nice Guys, because it's one of his favorite movies, and he is really good in a lot of things. But I did put him down as the sleepy-eyed sexiness, because that's what he's got. He's got a lot of. He's very low key, but he is a good actor, but he is very low key. So that might be something to think about. Let's move on to Cary's pick. Cary,
sure, let's do it.
Who is going to have their chest burst open?
I want Simon Pegg to happen. This to happen to Simon Pegg, another British person I've chosen for this remake, I guess. I think Simon Pegg would be a perfect choice for this movie. He, not to spoil anything, doesn't last the entire movie. He dies. He's one of the first people to go.
You're not spoiling Alien, are you? Are you worried about spoiling Alien?
It's been 40 years, 41 years. I mean,
good Lord.
I don't know.
Oh, my delicate sensitivity, stop.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Alien and you're watching this.
He's a genre guy, and I think he would just have a blast in this role in the movie. And just during the parts where he's in it, he would just be a wonder to watch.
I have to say, you are casting a very hilarious alien. Cary.
Nobody said it couldn't be funny.
Because it's true. Because we've got Ryan Gosling, who is a laugh riot. Simon Pegg, who is legitimately funny. I went with Stephen Graham. If you don't know who Stephen Graham is, he played Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire. In Rocket Man, he is the agent who's really grouchy and yells at everybody. And he plays a lot of punks, British punks. And so I went British as well, and that's why I picked Simon Pegg as well. So, Cary, we are tied at 3-3.
Right.
He'd work well with Bill Hader, too. I would like to see that.
I think he'd work with anybody. Simon Pegg is Tabasco sauce, where you put him on to enhance anything. So no matter whatever group you put him with, he is going to be better. He's great in those Mission Impossible movies. So
any movie with Bill Hader and Simon Pegg together, I'm down for it. Let's do it.
Well, now we get to the evil, the robotic, the British. Sir Ian Holm as Ash, the android. Not only does he have milky, smooth skin, he's got milky, smooth blood. So as for Ash, this one's going to be a little bit. So let's go with Patrick here. You start. No, I'm sorry. We got Cary who starts off with this one.
No.
This S-curve thing always throws me. Who do you have playing a robot?
This is somebody that's been acting his entire life since childhood, and he's become one of my favorite dramatic actors recently, and an amazing director too. I chose Jason Bateman.
Now this one was, I would call, inspired casting, because I did not even think of this, because he has become fantastic. He started off in Silver Spoons when he was like 12.
Yup.
Then he did all the
younger, probably.
Oh yeah, 8 or 9, and then he did the Teen Wolf 2 movies and all the teen movies of the 80s and 90s, and then he elevated himself with Arrested Development, which launched him into all of these movies that we see him in, and now he is doing great work, like you said, as director in The Outsiders.
Yeah, he's always he plays like the straight man that has the ability to do comedy. So I think that's what that role needs.
I mean, you have, like I said, you have definitely gone with hilarious aliens. This is going to be the best science fiction horror comedy of all time.
Directed by Adam McKay.
There you go.
Those cut to like interviews of the aliens. So what I was trying to do when I went in here.
Patrick.
That's right. It's like make it like The Office.
Yes.
Well, my pick, look, we talked about this before. When it comes to picks, if it's the obvious pick, it might be because it is the right choice. If you're going with an inspired choice, that's another thing. But I went for the obvious, and that's Ben Mendelsohn. If you're going to put him in any position in this film, this is the one to put him in. He's been in every bad guy film you could possibly think of. He's Rogue One, Dark Knight Rises, Captain Marvel, Ready Player One. He's done it all, and I think that he would also bring a very nuanced performance to an AI in this. And seeing him again run up against my Sigourney Weaver type character with Ripley, he would just work really well within this scope. So I pick him.
Well, it's interesting because you guys have Jason Bateman and Ben Mendelsohn, who starred together in The Outsiders on HBO, or The Outsider on HBO, which was a fantastic Stephen King-based miniseries. I don't know if you guys have seen that, where Jason Bateman is the bad guy, or that we think is the bad guy, and Ben Mendelsohn is the good guy, which seems to be a swap in roles. And Jason Bateman directed a lot of that, and Ben Mendelsohn produced it. So it's you guys are in tune, but slightly out of sync. It's really interesting how you guys both picked those two. I'm looking for like a Jude Law type, and so that of course is going to be a Ben Mendelsohn. So Patrick goes up 4-3 with one left to go. So you could tie this, Cary. You still have a shot.
All right.
Now we get to Yaphet Kotto's Parker. We just got this guy is just intimidating as all get out, but he's fantastic in this movie. We go with Patrick. Yaphet Kotto has seen aliens and believes in UFOs, so in real life. So who do you have playing him?
I went with Lakeith Stanfield. If you haven't heard of this actor, he's known for Sorry to Bother You. She was in Straight Outta Compton. Recently was in Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler.
Atlanta.
And he plays Atlanta. He plays very, very good characters that are I could see him being tough, but also very much like superstitious in the stuff that's going on. And seeing him alongside the cast that I set up that I thought would work really well. But Lakeith Stanfield, I think is just one of the better choices that I'd go with that.
Oh, he's great. He was great in Get Out, especially in the crying scene where he's crying, not crying. Holding all that emotion in, but seeing it on his face, it was just fantastic. Now, Sorry to Bother You was weird. That movie,
yeah,
good and weird though.
Yeah,
but yeah, when that twist happens, though, imagine just like that's Alien.
Yep.
You know, you've got it.
But of course, when things get down, he was Snoop Dogg in Straight Outta Compton, so he knows how to relax as well. Cary.
Yeah. Can I change my answer now?
This is it. You can't change your answer.
Oh, okay.
But again, having seen your answers in advance, how do you feel?
Not great on this one, truthfully. I'm keeping the comedic edge on my answer. I didn't really think about the superstition part about it and all that kind of stuff from the movie, but I wanted another funny actor, and I don't think this guy gets enough genre roles. I think he could really pull it off, and that's Ron Funches.
Now, Ron is absolutely amazing. He is, I dare say, adorable, which is a weird way.
Sure, yeah. Definitely.
I love him as King Shark in Harley Quinn. If you saw him in New Girl, he played a homeless guy that who would dance in his underwear to Lionel Richie while people ate outside, like on a patio. He had 4 or 5 episodes where he did that. It was disturbing as all get out, but he does have that unique voice.
He does,
which is why
he's that giggle laugh he has.
Which is why, I mean, even his face as we got here, he's such good. So yeah, I love Ron Funches. I'm not sure how that's going to hold up because we went with Lakeith Stanfield, Ron Funches. I'm looking for an Idris Elba type. Now, of these two, I like Ron Funches, but he's no Idris Elba type. Lakeith Stanfield could be if he bulked up a little bit, but also just he has that chameleon quality. And with that, Patrick takes it. Patrick, you have won.
Ooh,
your
nice.
return. Winner. How are you? So your final thought. What do you have for today's final thought?
Well, thank you for letting me come on, and Cary, your choices were pretty awesome. Like especially when you pulled out Kane's, I was like, oh shit, yeah, we're in trouble here.
You pulled out Lakeith Stanfield, and I knew I was done for.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I want to have both of you guys on the show, honestly. Thank you guys so much.
So remind people where that show is, because it's not.
Oh yeah, PatrickBeattyReviews.com, or just check Gaggle of Geeks out on iTunes, on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you can look.
Well, thank you for being on. You did a fantastic. Both of you did a fantastic job. If you like the show, you can follow us at Matinee Heroes on Twitter. You can watch the show at twitch.tv/Matinee Heroes. You can join the Facebook group where you can see what episodes of the podcast are coming on. Also, where you can find more about our guests. And of course, you can go to the archive and look at past episodes at matineeheroes.com/castoff. But before we go, one last thing. If you like aliens, we have an alien shirt that we've had for a couple years now, custom made just for Comic Palooza. When they were there, we wore this shirt to make sure that Sigourney Weaver and Paul Reiser and Bill Paxton enjoyed it. And that is our Joel Micah Harris exclusive Ridley in the Power Loader Matinee Hero shirt. So you can head over to matineeheroes.com/store or matineeheroes.myprintful.com and pick up a t-shirt. Every single one is $20. You can't beat it. So on behalf of myself, on behalf of my guests, I went to black, but we're not done yet. I want to thank you guys for being here. Before we go, I do want to announce that we are going into the playoffs. We have, I talked to everybody beforehand. All 7 past contestants and Patrick now will be joining us next week to go through our selection. We're going to randomly select who's going to fight who. We're going to have 4 games in 4 weeks in July, the semifinals of the first 2 weeks in August, and then on my birthday, very special Sunday night edition, August 23rd, we are going to have the finale and crown a cast-off champion. So I want to thank everybody who's been watching and sharing. I know we get a lot of Facebook views and everything. We're not done. Season 2 will come out probably sometime in September as we get ready for Fan X. Cross my fingers, Fan X, where I hopefully to see Patrick. But until then, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Thanks.